Welcome back to the Randy Rose Show. I promised you last time I would talk about the Fair Tax Act, and I'm going to put it to you in two different ways. This is the way I would tell the Fair Tax Act if I was talking to a progressive Democrat. I would say you would get gross pay instead of net pay. That's more money for you. They're like, yeah. You get $100 a month from the federal government, free to do with whatever you want. Ooh, they like that. Consumer prices drop 12%. Oh, they like that too. Consumer prices dropping 12% on a shirt, maybe not so much, but on a car, not too shabby. But what I like is it fully funds Social Security so that all those people that are going to be paying into Social Security that are not going to get it will get it. It fully funds disability. It makes the economy go up 10% and unemployment go below 4%. That's why Democrats favor the Fair Tax Act. Now, if I'm talking to a Republican, and this is how I tell them, I say the Fair Tax Act creates a 23% retail sales tax and gets rid of the 16th Amendment, which means no more extortion from the federal government. And everybody that comes into this country or perhaps is working in the underground economy will contribute to our Social Security and our disability fund, as well as the overall U.S. Treasury. Now, we can get rid of the IRS under this. We don't need the IRS. We've got all the state equalization boards that are already collecting percentages from sales tax, and they will just also collect the federal 23% retail sales tax as well. Now, the skeptic, or the progressive skeptic, because you know progressives, they love income tax because they can control you with it. What they're going to say is, 23% retail sales tax, oh my God, that's going to make prices go through the roof and it's going to hurt the poor. That, my friend, is called a red herring, because the working poor is going to benefit because of the fact that there are no longer deductions from his paycheck. He gets the entire gross pay. That's more money in his pocket. The $100 a month the federal government gives him, that's more money in his pocket. The fact that consumer prices drop 12% gives him more buying power. So the truth of the matter is, it actually helps the poor get out of poverty. So you see, that's why the progressives are going to yell about that red herring, because oh my God, it's going to make prices go up. It is not true. Now, a lot of conservatives will go, well, I don't like the fact that Social Security is being fully funded. We should get rid of that, and disability too. Well, some of those, conservatives, a lot of them are entrepreneurs who don't want to pay into the FICA and stuff like that anyway, but they're not going to have to, because in the Fair Tax Act there is no FICA and there is no income tax. And then of course the people that are saying, well, my house, I won't get the deduction. What are you going to deduct it from? You're not paying income taxes to begin with. You got 100% deduction. You don't need any more. So that's why the Fair Tax Act is a wonderful thing on both sides of the aisle. And what you need to do is you need to call your congressman and you need to tell him to co-sponsor H.R. 25. And then you need to call your senator and tell them to co-sponsor H.R. 25. Or excuse me, S.122. S.122 in the Senate, H.R. 25 in the House. Now, if they're not willing to co-sponsor the Fair Tax Act, that means they don't care about you. They only care about themselves. And this was illustrated when I called Dina Titus, my local congresswoman, 40 times. She finally took my call. She asked me if I was recording the call. The answer was no. Obviously, I don't know how to record a call. So then she went ahead and told me the truth. She said that she didn't want to co-sponsor the Fair Tax Act because it takes power away from her and gives it to the people. Because federal government uses the the tax code to punish some and create winners for others. So she doesn't want to get rid of that. And then the fact that it brings people out of poverty is definitely not something that she wanted. She said that she wanted more poor people. I mean, I asked her, well, what about the Democrats' war on poverty? She said, don't believe everything you hear. She says, I need the poor people. Those are the ones that vote for me. I'd rather have more poor people than I get more votes. So that's why the progressive leftists really do want more poor people. But Republicans want to enrich poor people so that they can make more money. But when you own the media, you own the news, you have more money than the Republicans, then you can get out there and you can lie all day long. Just an example from today's New York Times, where they're trying to perpetrate the lie that Benghazi was caused by a videotape. That is so laughable that people would even believe that, but the New York Times is pushing it to clear the way for Hillary to run for president. And believe me, if Chris Christie is up against Hillary, we're going to have Hillary for president for the next 8 years. And I hate to leave on that sour note, but next time we'll talk a little bit more in depth about what's going on there. Thanks. This is Randy Rose signing off.